Unfortunately, I'm making this video today bearing bad news that the GOAT, the legend, Akira Toriyama has passed away. Akira Toriyama was the author and creator of Dragon Ball, the whole franchise, Dragon Ball Z. Whenever you think of Goku, whenever you think of Super Saiyan, that was him. It all started with one idea, one man. To think the series has gotten to this point is just amazing. It's nothing short of a miracle. Not in a bad way, but like a happy miracle. Something as fabulous as Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. I have been a fan of Dragon Ball since I was little. In fact, it was one of the very first anime I actually got into. And it's sad to see today that like Akira Toriyama passed away at 68. 68, I feel like it's pretty young. It's not like too old. It's midlife. It's a little past midlife, right? A lot of people who live today make it past 80. And it's tough to see Akira Toriyama passing away at 68, especially to a unnatural death. And by unnatural, I just mean not dying of old age. What he had was subdermal hematoma. Subdermal hematoma. Wasn't really sure what this was until, today. But it's pretty much a type of bleeding near the brain. That's what he had. It's like a blood clot that can happen in different parts of your body, and the brain being one of them, or the head. I was hoping one day if I ever got big enough on the YouTube channel or something, I would be able to meet him one day. It's hard to see that like Akira Toriyama is not going to be one of the people I ever end up meeting, and that's kind of hard for me. That is kind of hard for me. It's definitely someone I look up to as a creative genius, and his legacy will be carried on. Like his work of art, Dragon Ball, will be cherished for years to come. Dragon Ball has been around for so long, and fandom is still going on strong. Reading some of the articles on Akira, it says he had some uncompleted work at the time of his death. That's also hard to hear. It seems like he wasn't able to finish everything he wanted to do. But I just want to say again, rest in peace to the legend Akira Toriyama. Now, I do want to talk about my connection to the series. Just really how I got into it, because I was young when I got into Dragon Ball, really got into Dragon Ball. And I could remember the exact moment, the exact night, the day that I really was roped into Dragon Ball. And it's as clear as day in my mind. So I was really young. I don't know my exact age. Me and my brother, we were at our great-grandparents' house. And a large part of the family was having a whole get-together. They were cooking gumbo, which, family gumbo is always pretty good. But me and my brother, like, we were there at the beginning of the day. We just had one room to ourselves, and we turned on the old TV, cable television, right? We found the channel, and Dragon Ball was airing. Not only was it airing, it had a whole marathon. Like, imagine a whole marathon. And this is Dragon Ball Z Kai, alright, so the English. The marathon was for the Namek Saga. Most, if not all, the Namek Saga. I don't even know where it started, but I do remember we were watching that for a while. And Goku finally got to fighting Frieza. He did the whole spirit bomb on Frieza. It didn't work. And it was just such a time, because we thought it killed him at the time. I couldn't even tell you where the plot was going to go. And then we got Super Saiyan. I could tell you I was already pretty roped into the show, but then Super Saiyan came out, and I couldn't take my eyes off of the television. And it was one of the old televisions. You couldn't just change the channel and put Dragon Ball on. Like, it had to be airing. We didn't have like those devices where you could just search up things. We had to kind of run into it online, that type of thing. And it was just such a moment. I will always remember the first time I saw Super Saiyan. No other moment in Dragon Ball feels like it hits as hard as the first time I saw Super Saiyan. And ever since then, I was roped into the series. I was hooked. It's not like I could just like watch anime anytime I wanted back then, or even get into manga. But like when I finally had the time, I fully watched the series: Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and then eventually I rewatched it. I got into Dokkan, I got into a bunch of other Dragon Ball titles. I want to say it's definitely been a huge part of my life. Like I take for granted how much like that show pretty much shaped me as a person, even like giving me a lot of fun experiences. Even the Dragon Ball games. how much fun I've had with my cousins playing those games, and just the memories of my childhood. A lot of it is shaped around the whole Dragon Ball franchise, funny enough. And once again, I just have to say thank you, you know, for the good times. Thanks whoever listened to my rant or me talking, going over my memories. I feel like it was just appropriate to say all this because, you know, we lost a genius today. And it may have not have been today, but he's gone. Rest in power.